आप सबको पता होगा तो गोवा में लोकसभा के जो चुनाव हिंदी नहीं चाहिए
नहीं चाहिए साउंड ओके आता येता ऑन केला ऑन असतो इंग्लिश एनी लँग्वेज विल डू नो इश्यू
गोवा में लोकसभा के जो चुनाव हो जाने वाले हैं इसमें भाजपा की तरफ से उत्तर गोवा दक्षिण गोवा में हमारे जो दोनों प्रत्याशी खड़े हैं वो दोनों जीत जाएंगे, ऐसा हमें पूरा विश्वास है। मैं खुद पिछले कुछ दिनों में बहुत सारे राज्यों में चुनाव प्रचार के लिए गया हूँ। आज सुबह ही मैं दोपहर को ही मैं कर्नाटक से आया, कल वापस महाराष्ट्र जा रहा हूँ, वहाँ से पश्चिम बंगाल, सब जगह यानी काफ़ी राज्यों में गया हूँ। हर जगह पर हमें एक बहुत ही लोगों की एक स्ट्रांग कमिटमेंट दिखाई दे रही है कि इस बार दोबारा नरेंद्र मोदी जी को प्रधानमंत्री बनाना है। भाजपा की इंडिया की एक स्ट्रांग सरकार देश में दोबारा चुननी है, ऐसा लोगों की एक विश्वास, लोगों का एक कमिटमेंट बन गया है। इसकी वजह है कि पिछले 5 सालों में देश में जिस तरह से विकास की एक नई पहल चलाई गई, उसकी वजह से लोगों को उसका अनुभव हुआ है। उसे लोग चाहते हैं कि इस साल दोबारा नरेंद्र मोदी जी प्रधानमंत्री बनने चाहिए। आर्थिक स्थिति आप देखेंगे तो पिछले 5 साल में उसमें आमूलाग्र बदल हुआ। Inflation has dropped considerably, growth rate has picked up, and India has earned a reputation of being the fastest growing large economy of the world. It is also evident by the fact that India has recorded the highest ever export of merchandise of at least $330 billion and service exports of at least $210 billion, aggregating to $540 billion of total exports, which is the highest ever recorded in India's history. This is in the backdrop of the worst ever global climate for international trade. The protectionism is growing, countries are trying to put barriers, and despite that, India has recorded its highest ever growth rate. Our exports to China, which is of concern to all of us, has been a raging debate all over the country for many, many years. India's exports to China have increased substantially, and trade deficit with China has gone down by $10 billion, which is unprecedented, and the quantum itself is huge and significant. Same way, in the last 5 years, we have invested huge amounts of money into infrastructure, whether roads, ports, railways, highways, everything. In railways, our total investment in railways in the first 70 years after independence was 3 lakh crores. All put together, aggregate investment from 70 years was 3 lakh crores. I had presented the first full budget of the Modi government, and I had said 8,54,000 crores will be invested in the railways, and we will most probably even surpass that over the next few years, for a simple reason, is that any capital expenditure, particularly for an organization in railways, it picks up only in the second and the third year, because first year you cannot invest more than say 10-15%. And therefore, the quantum of investment in railways has significantly improved, resulting in the highest ever track renewal, which has resulted into better safety for railways. It has resulted in highest ever track expansion. Electrification has improved considerably, giving us a benefit of 41,000 crores will save on energy bill in railways in the next 10 years, and the first 3 years or the first 4 years. We are not only excellent, but we have done more than half of that in terms of saving. So railway is a shining example in which we could also provide amenities to the people like free Wi-Fi, food on your seat through e-catering, cleaning coach, the kind of complaint redressal mechanism which is unprecedented anywhere in the world. Same is the story for all infrastructure. On social front, Narendra Modi government launched several programs for social security, for healthcare, for improvement of standards of living of the people, and that again has resulted into improvement of our social indices. In terms of business climate, our ease of doing business has improved to 77 from as low as 140. And I am sure the amount of effort that we put in should be in first 50s by the time the next ranking will be announced. So over a period of time, business environment, social issues, infrastructure, economic environment has improved considerably, which people have experienced themselves, and therefore I was saying people are committed to vote Narendra Modi back to power. On national security, this is a government which stands out in terms of ensuring that we provided security in terms of internal security as well as security at our borders. Whenever there has been an instance where it was threatened, we uncompromisingly have retaliated and taken stern action against the perpetrators. And therefore, we can be very confident of saying that people have experienced all-round growth, not just in social and economic sphere, but also in terms of security and safety, which is an extremely important aspect even for economic development. The international standing of Modi government has, or personally Narendra Modi, has enhanced to such an extent that all over the world, people have recognized his huge contribution and given him the highest civilian awards in those countries, whether it's Russia, whether it's Saudi Arabia, or whether it's United Arab Emirates. We can also very proudly say that as a result of this, last 5 years have been one of the exemplary 5 years for any government since independence. But we would like to embark upon more ambitious task, and we want to make a new India, which is what we mean by new India is, wherein social disparity will disappear, economic development will take to such an extent that everybody will be able to live life with dignity. Elderly people will also be taken care of through social security mechanism, environmental issues, and all other aspects of natural capital management will be dealt with the highest possible standards. And therefore, we have seen this, and I am very sure that Prime Minister Modi will be again the Prime Minister to complete this huge task of building a new India in the next few years' time. Goa is one of the most important states as far as we are concerned. Personally, for me, I have a unique place for Goa in my own heart, and therefore I consider, though not elected from Goa anytime, I feel Goa is my home state, and I therefore want to do as much as possible for the state. We feel that development of any state, including Goa, should happen in such a way that it should benefit the people of that state first. So Goa's development is Goa's development. If you cannot develop Goa independent of Goan's development, and what is that Goan's development would be? Today, the livelihood of people is very important. And livelihood of Goans is dependent on 3 or 4 major sectors. One is mining. Second, tourism. Third, fisheries. And therefore, we would like to make sure that Goa can be developed by development of these sectors in a manner that would be the most sustainable way. Mining can be done in a manner that does not compromise with any environment. Ecotourism can be promoted in a way that will not create any adverse footprint on the good ecology of Goa, as well as fisheries can be done in similar way. We already proposed to the Japanese and the Koreans and the Chinese that they should set up processing plants in state of Goa so that value addition of marine product export can happen in Goa. For that, we had come out with the agriculture export policy, which targets to take exports from agriculture, horticulture, fisheries, meat and dairy to $100 billion over the period of next few years' time. All of that will benefit Goa immensely. So I told you about fisheries, I told you about tourism and mining. Agriculture is also one of the most important part of Goa's economy, and therefore we would like to develop that as well by bringing in agriculture export as one of the thrust areas for Goa's future development, for which The new airport which is going to come up, we are already thinking, and logistic is under me, to find out how logistic can be the driver for Goa's economy, because of the entire west coast, right from Kerala to Maharashtra, it is very important that we must have logistic hubs on east coast as well as the west coast, because normally the maritime trade drives the global economy, and for which logistic will be the backbone of that. Therefore, Goa again can immensely benefit from development of logistic hub in Goa, and therefore we like to do that as well. We want to bring in for youth of Goa the startups. I am very happy to say on 6th of December last year, only 4 months ago, we had started the first ever round table of global funds which came to Goa for startup, because we feel startups would be the new engine of growth to meet the aspirations of youth of Goa and does not damage environment of any kind. So we can create economic opportunities, new jobs, but without compromising the beauty of Goa. And therefore startup we like to do it. I also decided and already announced that we'll set up every year an annual startup festival in Goa, wherein top players from the world could come here, and they again will add to jobs in Goa. So we have a very comprehensive, holistic, forward-looking and a comprehensive strategy for Goa's development. I am sure that this strategy will take care of each and every segment of Goan, and therefore I was saying we don't want to develop Goa which does not benefit the Goans. So if Goans are benefiting and their development takes place, we don't have to plan a separate strategy for Goa's development. And therefore I am very happy to say that even the railways, I am very happy to say that when I used to talk to my dear friend, unfortunately, this is my first visit. I came for the funeral, of course, but it's the first visit when he is not there. Otherwise, last 40 years, whenever I come here, I used to meet my dear friend Manoj Parrikar. He told me once that now I don't know what to ask you, because everything that he didn't even ask you, you are given for the railway. So Goa got everything. Even in aviation infrastructure, we are trying to create everything that is possible. Even in commerce and industry, the present portfolio that I hold, we also done that in a very significant way. So I am very sure that Goa will continue to receive our full attention of the central government when Mr. Modi will form the next government again after 23rd of May. So we really look forward to Goans also reposing their confidence in the two candidates and elect them as the next members of parliament. I must put on record a great contribution of my dear friend Sripad Naik. He has done exemplary work as a member of parliament as well as a minister of Ayush. In that capacity, the amount of proliferation of all Ayush activities that has happened globally, I must say that your candidate, your member of parliament has been responsible for it. So you should be proud of the fact that a fellow Goan has done so much for the country in terms of Ayush development. Even the other candidate, a member of parliament from South Goa, he also has taken part, though he was not a minister, but in member of parliament, he has also done a significant work in the last 5 years. So that deserves another term for both of them, and I am sure Goans will give them the full support, more votes than the last election, and continue to have this unending, long enduring partnership with Goa and BJP. We feel that Goa has a unique place in our heart, and we like to develop Goa in a way that we feel Goa's beauty should not be damaged. At the same time, aspirations of people should be fully taken care of. So I wish all the best to you. I know I am requesting you as journalists. My wife also is a journalist. So I would only say that while journalists must spread this message, but also you being voters yourself, I am sure you will also vote for BJP. So we really look forward to doing that. And your votes will be more invaluable. So I really count on them. Looking forward to that. Thank you very much.